a fool on fire is more successful than any scholar on ice. So Justin, I want you to kind of share with the group, how do you go from theory to implementation in your mortgage business?
I would say that keeping it simple, right? When I think back, whenever I've done my best work, it's one, I think it's important. You should always follow somebody, right? Choose who you want to follow and make sure that you are part of a program and you're being coached at a high level. I think that is a must, but the biggest key is just be a student, right? When you're given like, hey, these are the way, this is the path forward, don't overcomplicate it, just take action. And when I think back to the people that I see grow the most, is there's two qualities. One, they're more coachable than anybody, and they're faster to implement by a mile, right? So what I think about is like, what can I do today to implement this? So when, for example, I read your book, there's a million tactics in there that are so good. Pick one or two and immediately implement it. I think most people spend too much time, Wally, trying to get all their ducks in a row before they make a move. I think the people that really move the needle start to move forward without having it all figured out. And what I find is when I implement and I work best, I just start doing it. Just like, for example, when I started reaching out to financial advisors and family will attorneys, I hadn't completed the installation course yet. I had just read the book. I was figuring it out as I went, but I just knew that this is the right thing to do. And I just started calling. I've learned some things that work, things that didn't work. My scripting started getting better. I figured out what landed, but the key is that you have to take action, right? You have to start moving forward, even if you don't have it all figured out. And I think that most people do it backwards. They want to have it all figured out before moving forward. And I think that's what holds most people back.
And you look at that as like, perfection. People focus on perfection over progress. And I mean, I had no business writing a book. Like I was not an author. I was just a flipping loan officer, right? But I'm like, dude, like if I want to write a book, how do you write a book? Okay, so you hire a ghost author, you hire a designer. And I made this, it's funny, but I think I read probably 15 to 20 books about how to write a book, a ghost author. And then the book was like super duper successful, 91,000 copies, for goodness sake. But more importantly of it is like, I went and hired a professional, so I didn't have to pay the idiot tax. And right. And what's crazy is when you hear from loan officers all the time, I don't know if coaching is worth it. I'm like, dude, you're leaving 10, 20, 50 grand a month on the table. Whatever your coach is going to charge you is definitely worth it. But one thing I want you to touch on, I want you to kind of share as much as you feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah.
This is, I'm seeing a transition shift in you. I'm seeing a transformation. 99.9% of loan officers out there, this is how much I make. This is how much volume I close. This is how much income I've made. This is how many families I've lent or families I've served. You're starting to understand the most important metric for you to ever measure is how many referrals that you refer out. And that when I realized that in 2019, I started tracking it. My first year was over $250,000 in referrals that I gave out to my realtors, my CPAs, my financial advisors, my family will attorneys, and insurance agents. And then you fast forward to 2025, just last year, $2.7 million in referrals that I gave out to my wealth partners and my realtors. The mindset behind it is now I'm in this spot that like, who the heck is going to fire me? Dude, I just put $2.7 million in your commissions. If I don't want to get you that pre-approval letter on a Saturday afternoon, I'm sitting by the pool or I'm out golfing, like, I'll get it to you when I get it to you, but I'm not at risk of getting fired. When did you put on those new lenses?
As I started to do this more and more, it became apparent to me that was the way. And I think back to my golf years, right? As you know, I was a professional golfer. I grew up playing. One of the things that I always knew is that as soon as you started focusing on the results, your golf game went to the toilet. It was terrible, right? It's so important that you focus on the inputs and the process. It's no different. As I'm starting to shift, what I've been focused on is what's my production? How many units am I putting up, right? That's where my own focus is. And I put that out on social media. It's like, help this many families and this is what my production and I'm a top producer, blah, blah, blah. I'm shifting that mindset to thinking about how much can I give, not what can I take. How much can I refer out to my referral partners? I want to be known in my market as the lender who refers out, right? Actually moves the needle for my referral partners. And so putting my focus in that, I just really believe whatever you put out into the universe comes back to you tenfold. So if you put all of your focus in referring out and helping other people make money, right? Other people's money. If you care more about other people's money and giving to them, it'll come back to you tenfold over. And so shifting my mindset to that when it comes to my business, and I'm thinking about that every day now. How do I get better at implementing this? How do I get better at the page 5 of the 1003? Like, how do I, give more value to my referral partners and my financial advisor and my CPA? How can I give them more? If I focus on that, Wally, it's right, process versus results. If I focus on that, everything else will take care of itself, and the production will just grow naturally.
Yeah, there's a great book by Jay Papasan and Gary Keller called The One Thing. And it teaches you the one thing focus, which is what is the one thing such by doing it that makes everything else easy or unnecessary. What I love by that is you just analyzed the whole 250 pages of the book, and you analyzed everything of my curriculum and courses, and you laser focus on the one single thing. If I can learn to give out referrals to my realtor partners from my wealth partners, I am irreplaceable. I am untouchable. And you learning that one simple trait, that one simple skill, that one simple framework, that one simple principle can easily not only double and triple your business, but then you being in leadership, the team around you and the culture around you, I think it'll be really great to see the impact that the team feels that they're making, not just the income that you're making.
100%. You should see my team board, right? We got a whole team board, and one of the things that we added recently, Wally, is referrals out, right? So I'm getting my team on board, right? We're actively talking about it every day, and like I said, it's about manifestation. I'm a big believer in manifestation. It's like what you talk about comes to an existence. So even getting my team, right? This goes into leadership, but like talk about it with your team. Make sure they're on board, right? The more you focus on it, it's like magic. All of a sudden, you start having all these referrals to give out, and you start getting referrals back.
Yeah. And what's super cool is I'm sure, you celebrating your team when they refer out. I mean, when I started doing this, a processor would make X, Y, and Z a salary, and then make their regular bonuses, close their fund the file. But I came to them and said, hey, I'm going to try to refer my clients to CPAs, financial advisors, family will attorneys, insurance agents. But since you're helping them get to the finish line, if you can help me get any referrals out to these partners while you're processing the loan with a client, like I'm going to give you an extra $100 bonus or a $200 bonus. And for every 5 that you get, I'm going to give you an additional $500 bonuses. I turn my operations team into the best offensive tool possible, because the culture of the team, like, dude, you'll give me $100 to be able to ask get you a financial advisor for? Yes, 1,000%. And once you understand that mindset shift of the more referrals that you give out, the 10x referrals that you're going to receive back, and your team feels like they're more part of the journey with you, they're winning when you're winning, instead of the team feeling like you're this big fancy loan officer making all this money and they're all these little minions, right? So if you're a loan officer that wants to empower your team, if you're a loan officer that wants to be the most known of the most referrals referred out to your partners, if you're a loan officer that wants to be able to have significance in your business, click on the link below, join the Multiplier Mindset community, just like Justin has, and I will personally coach you on a weekly basis to invest in you so you can be the most referrals out loan officer in your whole entire town.